everybody. Dave the Clone again, coming to you live but recorded from C2E2 2015, where I'm standing with Sebastian Roche, one of the premier characters in almost all the shows that we cover on the Empire.
It's true. Usually a bad one. Usually a bad guy.
Well, the thing is, you got some ambiguity going too,
yes,
which is always nice.
Which is good.
And I mean, originals, Vampire Diaries, vampires are sort of running the world right now, but as I was saying to you earlier, Fringe really rang true with me for a long time.
Fringe was an amazing character.
Yeah, did something from that character stick with you as well after it was over, or?
Yeah, there's always a part of me in every character that I play, and not that I'm the most evil man on the planet, but there is, I always put a little bit of my personality in it, so it doesn't stay with me afterwards, unless I was playing a very extremely emotional character, which I just did on the originals. No, I move on to the next usually, and it's usually another bad guy. But I never really like to attach the sort of epithet bad guy, because Newton's a little different, but all the other sort of tortured characters that I've played since then all have sort of redeeming features, whether it be humor, pain from a broken relationship. So I think there's always an origin to the evil in those supposed evil characters.
Is that what you look for when you're considering the role then?
Absolutely. Okay. I really try to see the human aspect of the bad guy. Because I think it's much more interesting. I did this other show where he was very much a straightforward evil person, and I thought I could just put a little more humor in it, and it made him much more appealing to the audience. To me first, that's the most important, because I don't want to just do a character for the audience. The character has to appeal to me, and I think because I'm having fun, the audience is having fun with me.
Yeah, it's always interesting as a fan to be watching the show and like, I think they're introducing the new big bad, but I want the whole show to be about this guy for a while,
Yeah. In the case of Fringe, it was really exciting to see, that head grow and then turn into this character.
And I think there's a level of sophistication that you brought to that role in particular.
I think so.
And I think there's even traces.
I tried.
Well, you succeeded.
It's just innate.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Maybe that's why it's drawing you in. It's almost like you and Mark Shepard kind of seem to have this rivalry going on almost. Of like,
it's true.
Like we pop up and we're bad, but we're the bad guy you love to love. Right? Or love
exactly.
So do you find yourself since you move on to the next role? Do you find yourself catching episodes that you were in and rewatching and going, wow, that was an interesting time? What's that like for you?
It's interesting as an actor when suddenly you see yourself, when you see yourself on reruns, 20 years ago or 10 years ago or even 3 years prior, because you move on to different characters, so you become a spectator. It's very strange because you become a spectator of your own character. And it's interesting to see the subtleties and to see how much you've changed, and of course how much you've aged. It's kind of interesting to see that, but also to see how much you've matured as an actor. It's very interesting. So that's one of the fascinating aspects of it.
Are there any that you ever catch and you're like, if I were doing that now, and is that difficult for you, or is that much more of a learning experience?
No, it's not difficult. I think you do. You always wish sometimes you'd done something differently. You do. I mean, to tell you the truth, for the past few years, I've really settled into myself not settled because I don't like the word settling, but I've really come to a point where I feel very comfortable about what I do as an actor and the risks I take. And I think since Fringe, actually, Supernatural, all these, I really tried to immerse myself fully into the characters and execute them as best I could. And I was very happy, actually, with how my character came out, Fringe. Same with Supernatural and Vampire Diaries and the original. And others, of course, that I've done, Grimm, which was one episode on Grimm, but I loved the character that I played on Grimm. It was a very fully executed character.
Grimm was one of those stories where they kind of self-contain each episode, so you kind of get to play with that and have that as like a little gift for yourself to take. What have you not done then, now that you're sort of feeling comfortable? Is there something that you're like, oh man, maybe I could kind of move into this a little bit too?
I just auditioned for a project where I play someone who's totally different, who's a truly good person. And the script that I auditioned for, I'm not going to talk about it because I'm hoping, crossing my fingers on that one.
Everybody out there.
Yeah. So it's not science fiction. It's just a fabulous project, and I really loved. There was a true humanity about the character that I loved. So I would like to explore those characters more, which are more in tune with who I am. I think I'm a pretty nice person, though. I think so. I know that I can terrify a few people, but yeah, this is something I'd like. I'd like to maybe play someone who's closer to myself, or maybe do a love story, or play a truly charactery person in the sense that totally different accent, totally different demeanor, do a real work of composition. That would be interesting too, you know. Yeah. And I love doing what I do too. I mean, I think that every one of my characters on these different shows are very different.
Oh yeah.
Newton's very different from Balthazar in Supernatural. Balthazar is closer to me. He's a lover of life. He's a naughty boy.
Yeah.
Which I probably was before I got married. I love you.
So this is
that's for my wife.
The beauty of talking
right to them. That's for my wife. And of course, Michael is one of these truly extreme characters. He's a fascinating character in the many facets of his personality, and there is so much energy in his purpose for vengeance and his desire to truly bring chaos for a very good reason.
Yeah, it's actually almost Shakespearean in some ways.
There's something very Shakespearean about that. I've always said that.
Well, and I'll just ask you one more.
Yeah.
What shows are you watching now? I mean, I always like to ask the people who work
there are many shows. I love all sorts of shows. I love, of course, Game of Thrones.
Everyone loves Game of Thrones.
Who doesn't like Game of Thrones? But for a reason,
Yeah.
Amazing characters, amazing writing, amazing production. I just finished watching this series on Netflix called Bloodline, which I'm very character-oriented and storyline-oriented. And this was a very subtle, beautifully directed, beautifully acted, beautifully written show. I loved it, and I can't wait for the next season. House of Cards. I mean, there are so many. I don't watch that much TV, but I really like Peaky Blinders. I thought that was a really cool show. Oh my God, there are so many. Homeland. And there are many out there, that I watch. I watched Once Upon a Time with my wife. My wife adores the show, and I was on it.
Yeah, so it's like,
which was great.
What is it like when you're watching with her and you're like, oh yeah, there it was, and now I'm kissing somebody, please. Well, thank you very much. Anything you got that's coming out that you want to kind of plug?
I mean, I have a movie coming out. It's not in the sci-fi realm, but I have a movie called Phantom Halo coming out June 19th in theaters and video on demand. It's with myself. Thomas Sangster, who was in Maze Runner and Game of Thrones, and he's actually also in Wolf Hall, this amazing BBC series. Luke Kleintank, who's going to be in Man in the High Castle on Amazon. Rebecca Romaine, Tobin Bell.
Oh wow!
But he's just playing a dude. He's playing a bad guy, but he's not Saul. He's not.
He's definitely someone we could always say like it would be awesome to see you guys square off.
Wonderful guy, and it's written, directed by Antonia Bogdanovich, daughter of Peter Bogdanovich, who's the producer of the movie. It's a movie I truly love, and I have a lot of heart for. Go watch it. It's a really good movie. It's a sort of crime family thriller. And I think you'll like it.
Very cool. Well, thank you very much for taking the time.
I
really appreciate it.
Of course.
Sebastian Roché, go back and watch Fringe again. Go back and watch Vampire Diaries and the originals, and be on the lookout for all of his new stuff coming out soon.
Thank you guys. Take care.
Thank you.